I think we often have the wrong objective with money. And that is, and it's true of success or whatever, right? Like any outcome. And that objective is what is the most amount that I can get? And that sort of hoarding behavior, the idea that you need to get more and more and more is creates a lot of really weird incentives that are not good for you, are not good for, just you mentally. I'm assuming that some people do spectacularly well with that, and they're able to be successful and do a lot. But I think a lot of people, I would say the vast majority, that is a hard thing to actually do. And a better description of it, and this is in line with sort of behavioral theory, is figuring out what is the least amount that you actually need to survive, and then being okay with that, right? Of thinking about, if I find that minimal amount, and if I achieve that minimal amount, I'm okay. And that's all I actually need to survive. And everything after that, it is just glorious. It's just kind of a fun experience. And it's just whatever. It's just more stuff, right? And so the the minimal for myself is actually really not that much. I look at how I grew up and where I am today, and I hate to sort of, I'm doing far better than how I actually grew up, um, and we're sort of stable and kind of at a point in my life where um, we don't have to do anything, right? And with that, that allows me to just find things that are more pleasurable for the sake of being for its pleasure, for the sake of, I'm just gonna do this thing because I think it's good. And that's part of this whole reciprocity project, is me just trying to live my life and just bringing people along. This is essentially just, it's my thing. It is. As I've been doing this, it's allowed me to take a step back by having this view, of what is the minimal I need, and then trying to be okay with that minimal. It's allowed me to take a step back, and has allowed me to say, I can pursue this thing because it's happy. It's, it's not necessarily happy all the time. It is, it's healthy. It adds benefit in this world. And I'm okay to pursue this particular thing. And the only way that I could do that is if I detach from that belief that I have to be at the top and that I need more. That the only way that I'm going to succeed is by adding more. And now it's hard. It is very hard, um, when you feel detached from some of the conversation, the ongoing conversation. It feels like you're kind of out of the loop, kind of basic things like that. I feel, you know, not as connected, I guess, is the story. But then I just have to be okay with me doing me. Um, and that's where I need to come back to what is the minimal I actually need. And that minimal, um, might be, that minimal is that I have my family, Um, we are happy and healthy. We are relatively stable, and that's it. Like I think ultimately that's it. That's the end story is that I am doing okay with me at this moment. And this is like super difficult to sort of push back with the world that wants you to do more and more and more, but then you have to sort of frame it. What is the minimal I actually need? So if I need to step out, if anything was to happen, um, you know, if my life as a professor would cease, um, that I would be okay with that. And I've learned to sort of deal with that by sort of framing that what is the minimal I actually need. And frankly, I've succeeded that minimal. And so at this moment, it's a bit of it's a bit of thinking about what now, right? And partly that's the whole reciprocity project is the thinking of what now. And it's so freeing, right? That's where I was sort of going to earlier. It's just freeing because you understand that you are um, you don't necessarily need to sort of comply with the standards of what everybody wants with performance. And as long as you're okay, you can take a step back. As long as you're okay with that, with where you are, you can do a lot, and it's freeing. Doesn't mean it's not difficult. Doesn't mean that, that there's not a pull towards becoming ever really more successful and all that kind of stuff. But um, if you just know that you're okay and you focus on what makes you okay at this moment and the minimal amount of what you're okay with, you have a far different perspective on the world. And then you can say, if somebody says, well, what about this and what about that? And then you could just say, well, I'm good. Um, and that's fine. So I think like thinking about what is your minimal, what's the least amount that you actually need to survive? And for most people, it's not a lot. Um, and then once you surpass whatever that is, um, then the world changes. It becomes a different story and how you could pursue things. It doesn't mean that my world is not any more demanding and all of that kind of stuff, but I could take a step back and say, well, I'm good at this moment. If something was to happen, I could just pull the plug and walk away. So, all right, that's all I wanted to say. Take care. Have a wonderful day.